Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on? Gonna have ourselves a controversial knife talk.
You asked for it, you got it.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. People always say, oh, you gotta do the knife. I mean, we always do the knife talk. We always kind of like talk. But
Yeah, that's all we do every day, all day, is
not,
talk about
doesn't have to
knives.
be controversial every time.
Yeah, it just gets there because people have their opinions, and we have our opinions. They're very strong. So, but this one I think is maybe focused a lot on value of customs and why they're priced the way they're priced. Because recently saw on my video I showed my friction folder on Arizona Customs going for $5.95 and got some kind of weird comments that were just, I mean, at this point it's kind of like, okay, we need to discuss this because people obviously can't seem to grasp.
There's a lot of people who just don't know. You know, people are used to the production knives. They don't realize the production knives, they made them in hundreds, thousands, and they have different procedures. It's all another story when...
Yeah, and there's even like things like the Southern, like why is this one $250?
Yeah, that's actually, you know, my opinion. I think it is a little more money than it should have been.
Well, you know, I told you the reason why, right?
It's just marketing.
It's not marketing so much. I mean, I actually got this from Spyderco and a few people that you know, work in companies like that, and Blade HQ told me some things about it. They basically compare it to the paramilitary too, where you have a S30V blade or whatever this one is, S35.
Yeah.
Basically, you got like high-end steel, really well-constructed knife that you know is worth more than $100, which it sells for. But there's mass production of these because it's a paramilitary. They know the military and the paramilitary one were popular, so they know they're going to sell. Whereas they take a chance on the Zulu or the Southern on a new maker that nobody really knows, so they make a limited run, plus they have to calibrate their machinery differently, so it costs them more.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, it's basically a trial run. I guarantee if they make another Southern, it's going to be less money. So there's a smaller run of these, and they're less available, but there's more premium materials, so they price them at more because they don't know.
Yeah, but it is a lot of it is marketing too. You picked up the nice example, Para 2. So you have the regular Para 2 that you can buy for $100, correct? Now they come up with the sprint runs that is the same exact knife, just different steel. Now the price difference, actual price difference.
Tilt that up a little bit so we can see, so I can get in the video here too. Just a hair.
So the price difference in the materials between the regular Para 2 and the sprint runs, in reality, you can count it probably in cents. You know, the difference between S30V and S35V, they're pretty much the same things. The manufacturing is the same exact knife, so they don't change anything in manufacturing except...
Well, you gotta look at it this way. They know that for years they're gonna be making these, so their machines are set up just to make paramilitaries.
Yeah.
But not for the Southern. The Southern's new to them, you know?
Let me finish this. So you have S30V Para 2, regular, 400, and you have S35V Sprint Run, which costs them exactly the same money pretty much. But they charge about $40 more. Just because it's marketing, they're gonna be having thousands of these, but only 500 of these. So they know people will pay the little extra. So it's a marketing tool.
Yeah.
You know, there is definitely not a $40 difference in manufacturing. It's the same exact knife, just different steel, and they buy different color G10. So it's literally a cents difference. But it's.
But then you have there's
that's
5 of these, 5. So you want it, you cannot have it. Period. You can't. You gotta wait for.
Everything has its
Well, yeah,
price.
of course, but yeah, you gotta wait though. I mean, but at the same time, you gotta wait though. I mean, Hoback just doesn't like gonna shell these out. He's focused on other things, so.
I mean, everything has its price.
I do know that. That's true.
Somebody
but
comes here and say, I'll pay you $2,000 for it.
Yeah, but if someone just calls up Jake Hoback like, hey man, I really want the Quaken, I want it, and he's just like, you know, I'm not making them right now. You're gonna have to wait. I'll give you $10,000 for it. You know, yeah, I'll make it.
I'll
Yeah,
make it right now,
but just someone like me and you, I want it, and I want it at $500, which is what I paid for it. I mean, it's not gonna happen. So therefore, this knife, automatically, if I put it on the forums for sale, which I will never do, by the way, because it's the greatest knife I've ever owned so far, I would put it at $1,000 at least. And that's just because, you know what, I mean, good luck getting the rest of them out there, you know what I mean? Like, there's just 5. Where this comes into play is my friction folder. I made one of them, and it was my favorite one. I sold it to her for, I think, around 5. Maybe less, not much less, though. But, I mean, there's one of them, and it's my favorite. Didn't want to even sell it. And that's it. There's no other ones here. I mean, I'm not making those for a while. I got a lot of other stuff beforehand. So if you want it, I mean, she has every right to put it at that price because that's That's the only way you're getting it, period. So you go by her rules. She paid for it. She happened to be there and happened to get it. It was hers. And as far as, the whole friction folder and locking knife thing, that's just preference. I mean, if you don't know anything about friction folders, a lot of people are afraid of them because they don't realize that,
And at the same time, friction folder is often a lot of states, not states, a lot of countries is actually the only folder that you can have. England, you can only have friction folders.
But I mean, to say that, someone said in one of the comments, I just thought it was just really just kind of, I don't know, an uneducated comment, I guess. Not to offend him, but like, I mean, he's saying like, well, you need premium materials like full tie or something like that and a locking knife. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, you can have a, this is titanium frame lock knife, but I mean, it's a production, like it's not full tie, but the marble carbon fiber is almost double the price of the titanium. Yeah. And you got some really good stuff on there. I mean, you try to get yourself a marble carbon fiber, give it a try. You're not getting it. And then you got tie on one side, plus a full 2 days of work nonstop put into that, heart and soul into it, one of a kind. I mean, that just makes it, I value it higher than $500 or $600 even. So that's why that's that. But
yeah, it's on the end of the day, everything is only worth as somebody is willing to pay for it.
And people will always buy the Hinders.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah, that's a nice example. Like Hinder rig, he sells it for his custom. He sells it for $6, something like that. 5.
For custom, you get custom grinds that go for like $3,000 sometimes. They're only like 600. They're only like 600 if you can get one from him.
But people pay $2-3 grand for it like nothing. Yeah. It's just everything is only as worth as somebody is willing to pay for it.
And I understand. I understand.
$400 for this. It has Jeff's jizz on it and
it's
his little tough nose and everything. It's awesome.
But
it's one of a kind. I had to bring this to the video because when I saw it was like, wow, really? And you trust the guy with this knife?
It's not
your customs.
It's what? As funny as it is, it's an amazing knife though. The Delica, it's never. I mean, it's got some wiggle to it, but it's never
a big fan
unlocked.
Of Delicas.
I never was either, but I had it and I used it.
I like the look. For me, what's my grudge with Delicas? I don't like the backlogs. I find it very inconvenient. Like how kind of you have to fight the backlog and the closing. For me, it's awkward. That's
I keep it just for scraping
really
shit.
Nice knife. I would love to love it because it's light. It's affordable. It's a very good knife. I'm not a backlog.
Solid though. Rock solid. It is, man. There's no blade play. I mean, it doesn't really.
Fun pimping a couple of those.
Oh, no way. No way in hell that's ever happening again.
You did a couple.
But back to the pricing thing now. The thing is, I started. If any of you guys have been following my channel for as long as it's been around, I don't know why you would.
You have a channel?
I do have a channel.
Wow.
We're on it right now. You'll know that I started with knives like this. Spyderco Tenacious was my first, Spyderco, and the Delica was something I would look forward to.
I remember you started with Becker BK too.
Yeah.
It was like one
and
of
the
your first
Kershaw.
videos.
And when you're starting out, you're just looking at these. What the hell? Who pays that much money for that? Why the fuck would you do that? And then I totally had this almost hatred, but I didn't say it. I was like, fuck these people. My knife cuts, it's fine. But after you collect knives enough and when you start to get it, everybody says the first step is getting a Sebenza. That was my first semi-custom, and I understood after I had it. I mean, I didn't even want it that badly. I just was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get it because I can. This guy's got it. He's willing to do a trade, and I only had to pay $100. I got it right then and there, and it was just all downhill from there. my wallet, it's just horrible. But there really is something to custom, semi-customs knives that are not mass-produced. This is somewhat produced. I actually had a good conversation with Greg Medford about mass production. Even his knives aren't considered mass production, you know what I mean? I said that to him and he was like, well, I didn't mean to say it that way, but it came out that way.
Mass production, right?
No, but it came out, it came out to an interesting conversation because there's still a bunch of guys in a shop putting them together. Whether it's not Greg grinding at one time here and there, which may not be a bad thing. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. It's still made by, in America, all in-house, quality. Greg checks over each and every single one of them, make sure they're perfect. If not, apparently you're fired. But no, another joke. But yeah, that's how Reeves is. He's got really good. I mean, they're probably knife makers better than me and Mike, and you never hear about them because their job is just to grind the knife. And they're probably so damn good at grinding Sebenzas, it's insane.
Yeah.
But
Sabenzas actually are ground by machine.
this one was ground by hand. This one specifically was.
How do you know?
It says on the card, hand ground.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
you know, there's no stone wash on or anything either.
Yeah, because normally Sabenzas, they are ground by machine.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will pop in, maybe Jay Davis, and tell us we're wrong.
CNC machine. Did you watch the video? It's amazing.
No.
Guys, recommend. Look at that's actually a nice idea. What's this? Chris Reeve has a video. I think it's on the Blade HQ's channel, if I remember right. It's you know, Meet Your Maker, and there's a walkthrough to the factory, and Chris Reeve explains pretty much everything what they do with the knives, and only seeing that you really get the grasp of what goes into making even a you know, quote unquote production or mid-tech knife. It's insane machinery they need, you know, huge amounts of money they have to invest in it, and it's a fair amount of time to go through it, and a lot of, you know, a lot of things that can go wrong, and they have to fix it. It's fun.
Yeah, well, tell me when yours shuts off so we can do part 2. So mine will just keep recording because it's awesome.
For me,
got another 10 minutes.
For
or
me,
so.
meeting Tuffthumbz was going downhill. When
yeah,
it
it was
comes to
definitely.
the prices. Remember, it was like $100. That's like my limit. I would never buy a knife over $100.
Yeah, I was like the same way, man. I mean,
I'm buying swords for hundreds of dollars.
I'm still not buying a bunch of customs though, you know.
I love big knives, you know, and dude, I mean, this was a big dream come true. And it's another funny thing. When we were doing the video yesterday or last weekend with the Omnivore Blade Works, no? And I linked the website to Jared's, and people seeing that it's like $600. It starts at $600, and it's a lot of money, but dude, it's a huge knife. The amount of work that goes into making something like that, or something like that wakizashi, it's insane. That's even more. Those knives are expensive, but rightfully so. There is, you know, that's not a little thin machete what you would buy from a cold steel, where you have, you know, 30-degree edge put on, you know, single bevel, burned. There is a lot of grinding going onto that, or something like this. Like, just imagine how much steel you have to remove to grind this. You know, it's not one of those really simple grinds where you just, you know, put a single bevel, grind, you know, couple minutes, and that's it, you know, it's working too. They are made to really perform and do a lot, you know, good work, so they're expensive. Same with mine, you know. Some people often ask me like how much they are. I mean, it's a lot of work into something like that. You might think, oh, it's a machete. It's not really a machete. It's a thick stock. It's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of belts into it, a lot of work. So they're definitely not cheap.
When you got
it really requires certain type of people who will pay for it. You know, like I have no problems paying $600, $700, $800, $1,000 for a huge fixed blade just because I love them, I love using them. There are people like that. And then there are collectors that obviously...
And there's no shortage of those people either. I mean, as long as you're doing something decent, like that Kevlar, like I want that thing badly. I mean, I'm not huge on fixed blades, but there's certain fixed blades that just do it for me, and his stuff does. And you guys are gonna see one of his Sasquatches is coming here. Thanks for.
And probably the other one too, the Silverback.
The Silverback,
yeah, Silverback.
And that's thanks to Riley. Thank you, Riley. He's sending me his. Just check it out so we can thump on it for a little bit.
Sasquatch supposed to be.
Yeah, it'll be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, it wasn't here before you came. So next week you got to come here because got to make sure you come so we can do chop tests.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, you know, also we got browse blades fits into this a lot, like with his knives, because people. I constantly hear things because I know Jason and like you know, I know what goes on and I see how they sell. You know, I have my hands on them. You know, I follow what happens to them. You know, with the like how much they sell for. And some people, of course, you know, they can't stand paying anything for a fixed blade. But at the same time, you know, the thing about Jason that I really like is even though like this is done by him, yeah, of course he does like a CNC cutout because you're not getting this hole like easily, you know, but he grinds everything, designs it, you know what I mean? Like, well, not every single one, he doesn't grind every knife, but the customs like this one and all the ones you guys have seen on my channel, he grinds all these.
By hand.
Now this one is $600, and this is actually gonna have a black blade. Not this blade. This is kind of like a template in a way. It's got little defects on it, just the logos on there twice. But this is $600, and that's not just because it's the karambit, it's because it's my work and his work together. Definitely one of a
Jason has
kind.
to pay like $300 just for that scale.
Yeah, like I would charge a lot for that scale there, but I mean, you're getting my work and his work together, and his knives are pretty damn nice. I mean, they're pristine looking knives.
Beautiful, beautiful work. Now, I love this thing.
Anybody who gets that thing is going to be real lucky. That is awesome.
I was actually surprised because I was expecting when I saw the video and when I talked to Jeff before that this is a really heavy knife, because I know how beefy the stock is, and I know when you put titanium scales and this is a pretty thick brass on it, I thought that it's really gonna be heavy, and Jeff said no, it's actually not that heavy, you will be surprised, and I was surprised. It really isn't heavy. This one is crazy. I really like this. This was my favorite.
Yeah, these are amazing. This one is the one he's showing there.
Such an awesome grip on these.
They're great.
And I love this one. For some reason, I'm a sucker for this. It just reminds me of Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick, this one.
Great movies.
Yep.
Pitch Black, the first one.
Pitch Black, the first one.
Fucking
yeah,
awesome. Second one, I like the second one too. There's another one coming out sometime soon.
Is it?
Cure date. But so yeah, I want to wait for the next video so we can start off right off with this. You want to end it and do another part?
Yeah.
Let's both end it and do another. All right, we're gonna do part 2 now.